Okay, Windows Server software. Okay, this Windows Server software, but this where this Windows Server software is implemented, that will be implemented on physical server box. That will be implemented on physical server box. Or this physical server box, here you will find virtualization software. It may be like any among that. Or the virtualization machines, you will have a small physical machines, sorry, virtual machines. These virtual machines are nothing but, it may be your Windows server, it may be your Unix or Linux. Okay, okay, and this physical server is part of part of data center. Of course, data center have multiple technology like router, switch, firewall, storage, server. There will like multiple technologies there. So you are just starting your career as a Windows Server engineer. Later, your journey has to be in upgraded stage. You need to be keep on upskilling yourself. Okay. Now, why I'm telling is, you need to understand where we are implementing Windows Server. You are practicing it here, but in the real time, how it is exactly happening is this Windows Server, as you can see here, they have been implemented on this physical server. There is a one more way, because this entire physical data center infrastructure will costing a money. So everybody, like especially like a startup companies or small sector companies, will not be in a bearable condition to invest this much. What they will do, they can invest with a cloud infra in a competition with on-prem. On-prem means physical location. On-premises infra. Instead of on-premise infra, they are going with a cloud infra. So there in the cloud infra, either Azure, anything like a AWS or GCP, we were using it. Now, in your course, we will be setting up our infrastructure on GCP environment. So we are setting up in the Azure, AWS, GCP. So we will be teaching you how to set up the VMs on the GCP. So you are parallelly working on infrastructure as well as the server implementation. Ultimately, when you will come across in the last session, I told you, whenever you are implementing, you need to have any of the technologies. Ultimately, this Azure, AWS are there, but somewhere this Azure, AWS, GCP cloud server infrastructure is again dependent on physical infrastructure only. Again, that is dependent on on-premises. But that on-premise networks are in their major data centers wherever the companies decided. But it's not required that every how the physical site locations are existed in the Bangalore, Chennai, in every part of the location, they need not to be required to invest the money to set up the data center. If they are wanted to go with one software development company, they will just go with a small amount of subscription cost, where we are saying like IaaS, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. Among that, anyone software cloud service, they will go with that. They will pay some of the subscription amount, and the backend, whatever infrastructure cost or whatever infrastructure technology or troubleshooting, that will be taken care. That headache will be taken care by the cloud service provider. So we need to have an idea on either we can practice server infrastructure on VMware. This is the VMware. You can see there's a workstation app is there. Over that also you can set up your Windows Server environment and you can practice it. This is the client tool, but this client tool itself will act like a server environment. But in the real time, how exactly physical servers are implemented over that you will be understanding here. You can install ESXi server on this machine. I mean, this VMware workstation is like a software we can say image. So when you implement a ESXi, means your VMware machine on this machine, so your this laptop become your Windows Server machine or Windows Server box, Windows Server box. This one I'm talking. we cannot buy a Windows Server box. This cost of lakhs of amount. So what I will do, I will set up this laptop as a Windows Server box. How can I configure? When you install a VMware workstation, this application, this your laptop become your Windows Server box. Over that Windows Server box, we will install this ESXi machine. Over that ESXi machine, I will build a small type of VMs, and over this VM, I will implement a Windows Server operating system. And then I will learn the DSCP, DNS, those setup I will do. This is the one way I can do it, practice part. What is the other way? I don't have a laptop infrastructure. I don't have a laptop with me, or else I have a laptop with limited or lower capacity of 8 GB RAM or limited functionality. Then best way is go with a GCP. GCP is just like a web-based application. Just you go this GCP. There it is, GCP platform. GCP platform need your any of the your Gmail account setup. Any account, if you don't know, if you have it, you set up it. Once you logged in, you will get just type GCP in the Google Chrome. You will get this option as we have done now. And here you'll get an option called as console. Means it's just a console, nothing but it's just an interface. Interface because it is a web-based application. Here we have,
Sir,
yes.
sir,
Yes.
actually, one of the person Chetan is waiting for your approval to enter in this meeting.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Yeah, hi Chaitanya. When you came, ಯಾವಾಗ ಬಂದ್ರಿ? ಹಲೋ, ಏನು ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡೇ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ನೀವು. Hi Chetan, when you come?
Just now.
Okay, fine. So whatever discussion which has discussed so far, I have just explained on the how the across the world the infrastructure would be there. Okay, and what is the data center infrastructure? In that data center infrastructure includes multiple physical hardwares like server, router, switch, firewall, storage, UPS, cooling system. And out of that, one of the server hardware, one of the server technology that we are learning is a Windows Server. But Windows Server is ultimately implemented on the physical server machine, physical server box. So physical, first we will have a physical server box. Over that we'll install this VMware virtualization software. Or that once the virtualization software installed, then we're going to install the Windows Server machine. This is called as on-premises IT infrastructure setup. Since every company will not in a condition to bear the cost, or else sometime they will go with one small sector companies. It may be like a startups, just like a coffee day. They may go with like a small setup, like a Zepto or like a Flipkart. Flipkart is now it's a big center, big company. But before that, it has started as a small startup. Some more startup like a considered like a Zomato, Swiggy. These are the startups. Ultimately, they are going for delivery. Everything's fine, but their data, their technologies again backend. They need a IT infrastructure. They cannot bear the cost for investment of multiple much of amount. They will go with the what cloud infrastructure, where the cloud infrastructure they will pay like subscription amount, like 1 year license cost, 3 6 month license cost. They will go with that and they will pay. Same way, I think you one of the best example for cloud infrastructure subscription is your OTT subscription. Consider you are taking a Netflix, Amazon, Sony Live, Z5. You are taking subscription. It is not required that you have to go with the 1 year. You will going with a 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. But how that OTT subscription works, backend infrastructure is dependent is again your cloud infrastructure. Ultimately, cloud it is in the somewhere this cloud infrastructure again dependent on the physical server. Without the existence of physical server, you cannot build a cloud infrastructure. They are offering you a cloud service, but that cloud service again dependent on one of the on-premise infrastructure. That on-premise infrastructure they may be built in their native countries. It may be like a United States or Australia, whichever the cost they prefer, which is compatible, which is comfortable for them. Okay. Now, in this cloud infrastructure, we cannot either when your laptop is not like a good amount of storage or good amount of capacity. Okay, I go to the task manager. You go to this performance. See my capacity. Say RAM is 16 GB. Processor is 2.6 i7 processor. I have a SSD hard disk. of 250 GB. Compared to SSD, your laptop consider. I'm not telling you, just giving an example. If your laptop is running with short amount of storage, hardly like 40 GB, 30 GB, or else you don't have a RAM of 16 GB, you may have like 8 GB. In general, I'm talking about. Or else your laptop is not that much. Suppose you borrowed that laptop from your colleague or your friend or your family member. In that context, you can go with the cloud. One way what we can do, suppose you want to set up your server environment, you need to have among one technology, either cloud infrastructure you need to have or a on-premise technology you need to have. In order to set up the virtualization technology or on-premise technology, on this laptop, you are installing one software named as VMware Workstation. VMware Workstation software, once you install, this your laptop become a physical server box. We are not actually buying this physical hard software, or sorry, physical box, because that cost of lakhs of amount. Even though if you are going for a second hand, or like, what is the second hand, don't go with it, I'll tell you here. What we can like, second hand servers, or we can say like scrap servers. Scrap servers means what? The server which whose warranty has been gone. Okay, actual cost of 1 lakh 42, that will cost for lower amount. That so they are selling in terms of kgs, but you are getting like in terms of cost, individual price, because who will they will going with the vendors, and from vendor we are collecting and getting it. So whatever server cost for 1,000, suppose if it is a 1,45,000 actual server cost, after 5 years that warranty is gone, so they will not go with the repair. So what the company will do, they will do a scrappage, that's called as IT disposal. That IT disposal, what they will do, they everything, instead of that, like how the your newspaper will be sold in terms of kgs, they will also sell in terms of kgs. And for example, for that individual, the laptop what they are costing, like second hand laptop, if they are charging you like 10,000 to 20,000, then what was they are getting in terms of, when they are in terms of kg, means hardly they are getting the cost of 4,000 to 5,000 rupees, but they are selling for a customer in a like a 20,000 rupees. Similar way happens for servers. So scrappage servers, you will get cost of 30,000 to 40,000. So we, instead of, or else sometime we, it may cost of 70,000, which has a good configuration. So instead of that, what we can do, temporary solution is set up your laptop as a VMware Workstation software, and or when your VMware Workstation installed, this particular entire laptop will become a your physical server. Or that physical server, you are implementing a ESXi software from VMware, and over that you will set up a Windows server. This is the one method to do your practice. What is the one more setup? You can go with the cloud. So in our class, we will be going with a GCP setup. GCP setup, what is the advantage? Not required to carry your laptop anywhere. Even if you are once you are set up the laptop lab in your GCP, no matter anywhere you are there, as long you are accessible to the Google, how the Gmail account, same way you can access the GCP console. You are sitting in your consider in a bus, you want to open the how my GCP infrastructure setup, you can still access your GCP console from your mobile. It's not required to carry your infrastructure physically. So this is the advantage we are doing it. Okay, where is GCP console? GCP console किधर है? हाँ. So in order to access GCP, you need to have a Gmail account. If you type GCP, you'll come here. Just open this. Since already I logged into the GCP, sorry, the Google account, that's the reason it's showing here. Or else if you see here, I'll type GCP. Since I already opened it, it's coming to this option. Just to open the GCP. Once you are coming here, then we are getting an option. As you can see here, we are getting 90 days free trial, means we are getting 90 days free trial software, means this GCP can be set up and can be practiced, and we can use it up to 90 days. Why not Azure or AWS we are going? Because Azure will give only 1 month subscription. You see here, GCP is okay. Azure free subscription. how much dollar you are getting? 200 credit, but up to 30 days you are getting. This is you are getting for 90 days. So by the time you'll start understanding and practicing, means 1 month will go off. Again, in order to create a, again after 30 days, that will be charged, or else you have to go with a one more new account. Instead of that, better we'll go with GCP, where you can practice. So parallelly, you will understand how the cloud infrastructure works. At the same time, we will be focusing on Windows Server setup. Is it clear till whatever we have discussed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is the physical server is over server. Server tools and technology means in the real time,
Hello, sir.
in the
ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು
mute
ಯಾವುದೇ
channel,
ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರು
mute karo,
ಹಲೋ ಸರ್
mute ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಏನ್ರಿ ಇದು ಸೌಂಡು?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಸರ್ವರ್ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಸರ್
ಹೌದಾ?
ಹಾಂ
Okay.
ಸರಿ
See, server tools and technologies. Server tools and technologies is nothing but what? In the real time, when you are learning the technologies, what are the technology you are learning in the Windows Server? I'll coming to your syllabus part. Where is your syllabus? Syllabus. Okay, your MCSA course. Okay. In this MCSA course, what are the technologies you are studying? You are learning ADDS. Okay. And group policy you are implementing. Okay. IP version network 4. Okay. And okay. DSCP you are implementing. DNS1 technology. See Hyper-V you are little bit understanding. We have to give the explanation. Okay. Storage part. Okay. Fine. See, there is called as WSUS. WSUS is Windows Software Update Service. The meaning is, in your computer you want to install update, means you just type update in your local computer. You'll go here, you will install it, whatever the updates are showing it here. Okay. Now in the environment, in the companies, there are like 500 or 5,000 computers. You cannot sit on individual computer and do installation. That is like a, that will not help you to do the work on time. That will be delayed. Hardly you will have hardly 2 or 3 engineers on that side. So what they will do, they will implement this WSUS service on the one of the physical server, means one of the here, where in the one of the virtual machine. In that they will implement WSUS. Okay. This, when they will install this service in this particular virtual machine, this virtual machine become like a WSUS server. Whichever computers are connected to the server, that will all will get the same update. What they will do, they will test it. They'll check, is there any issues will happen if you will install. Because why the issues will happen? Because in the companies, consider there is a like a 20 years company. In the 20 years before, they have purchased the Windows XP machine. They have purchased a Windows 7 machine. Now, recent time we are using Windows 10 computers. There may be like older laptops, older version of operating system. There may be like a newer version. So how do you like give a confirmation that whether this update is applicable to Windows 7 or Windows XP or Windows 10? What they will do, they will make a group of computers which are only Windows 7, they'll or Windows 10 or Windows XP. So they will make a testing, then they will push the update at a time. So in that time, what they need one of the technology called as WSCS. In the real time, this is the WSCS you are just understanding in the course, but in the real time, what's exactly happening? You are not using a WSCS in the companies. Companies, they will use a third-party tools. Why third-party tools? Because third-party tools will come up with a multiple additional features. For example, alert notification. If the update is giving any issues, it will show up the alerts. It will give a notifications. Along with that, there is like a dashboard. How many computers are updated? How many computers are left over? What are the different updates are left to be installed? Those all dashboard, other additional features will be provided by third party. So WSC is from Microsoft. This is only for understanding how the exactly updates are pushed in the real time scenario. But you need to have understanding. But in the real time, they are going for third party tools like SolarWinds. They will go with the tools called as SCCM, System Center Configuration Manager. Nowadays, they are going with a new technology called as Intune. Intune is again comes from Microsoft. Instead of they are installing, they will directly push the updates, push the applications. So this not only WS is only is meant for software update. One more comes called as WDS, Windows Deployment Service. That is called as operating system. I want to install a Windows 10 operating system in 200 computers.